Hey everyone, welcome back to Better Biomed. Today is almost a sad day because anytime one of my items breaks, it feels like a tragedy. However, maybe we're going to get something positive out of this yet today. Because today we're going to go ahead and do some exploratory surgery on my DJI Mini. Now this guy here goes with me all over the country when I go on tour companies, when I go to events and stuff. This guy goes with me and I get some pretty crazy B-roll footage, a lot of which I haven't utilized yet on this YouTube channel, but on some of my other YouTube channels and stuff, I do utilize it. And I was doing some practice maneuvers with this guy, and the DJI Mini 2 does not have any collision avoidance sensors. So, me being the me, I took it through a doorway, and I didn't take into account that there was a window open on the other side of the apartment, and just the gust of wind that came through the apartment made it kind of track over and clipped the doorway, and it fell to the ground. It fell probably about 2.5 feet. Not very much, right? Well, the DJI Mini 2 has got some fragile points, and those fragile points are right up here. It's the gimbal. And so today we're going to take a look. We're going to see if maybe we can identify where it broke, maybe even fix it. I'm not counting on it because even though it didn't fall very hard and it's seemingly in perfect condition, the gimbal on this thing is its Achilles heel for sure. It's just built very, I don't want to say cheaply, but very lightweight. We can say cheaply. So let's go ahead and let's take a look and see where the gimbal really broke. Maybe it's in a rubber mount, maybe it just popped out and I just got to put it back in, hopefully. Or maybe the gimbal plastic broke again, which is probably more likely. And to which then I got to replace the gimbal, which usually means replacing the whole camera. And that is an expensive endeavor, to which then this guy is probably almost going to be a loss. We'll see. We will see. Hopefully parts on the Mini 2 have gotten cheaper, but it used to be pretty expensive. So let's go ahead, let's flip this camera over and let's show you guys as we take apart the DJI Mini 2. And we'll go over some of its odd features and see if maybe we can discover where it failed and hopefully prevent it from failing again. Let's do it. So I do always keep the strap on it. It just protects everything and it keeps everything in a nice, neat package. Overall, I like the Mini 2. This thing flies beautifully and it's quiet. There's everything about it that I like, except for the fragility of that little gimbal in the front. And you'll see, when I start pulling it apart, you'll be like, why did they make that stupid decision? And I don't know why. That's the truth. So, let's go ahead and flip it over. I'll unfold it. The arms unfold like so. And the gimbal, you can see right there how it is collided with the back. It's being pulled to the rear, which means I think it's on a Y support, and I would think that the rubber standoffs in the front have popped off. That's what I think. I don't know. And if it's just a rubber piece, maybe I can duplicate it or come up with something. But if not, if the gimbal plastic broke again, then that's not going to be good. Let's go ahead and tilt this guy down so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. This is it. I've got a little tray right here so I can take my fasteners and keep them nice and tidy. So the overall goal is to get into this guy right here, and we'll see what we can do. So that panel there has only got 2 fasteners. There they are, just tiny little stainless. All right, there we go. So that's that plate. And you can see the cooling plate or the heat spreader right here. And let's see. Power button, status LEDs, binding button, and your detector array. That's for your elevation. And this plastic got a little bit tweaked. That's right, I can use a heat gun to straighten that out. And I was hoping that this would get me in so I could see the backside of that gimbal, but it is not. So I believe I have all the main fasteners out. I should be able to remove this top cover. There, okay. It just popped out. Okay, so now we have full access so we can see what's going on with the gimbal. So I didn't have to remove these arms, so I'm going to put those guys back on, like so. So here's the gimbal, and it just floats on these bands. Oh, hold on, let me get it in frame. You can see it floating in these bands right here, and right now it's looking pretty good. Did I really just fix it? It was like caught on something on the inside, and now that I took that top cover off, it's free floating like it should have been. It was pulled to the rear and it was bound, but my bands right here are good. Okay, so you can see right here, good. It's suspended, free floating like it should be. The back bands are good. Oh, there we go, so you guys can see. That's looking fantastic. Let me get some more light on the situation. All right. So I have no idea what it was caught on. I assume that maybe it was these upper areas right here, but it was really bound up. So now the motor looks like it's moving freely. Okay, so what I was worried about is these little bands right here being broken, or this chassis right here. You see these arms? These arms right here are so delicate. It's made out of, it almost feels like magnesium, but it's like a plastic. And I broke one on my last one. It's a composite. And the last time it was from a crash as well. And it was such a light crash, but nonetheless, it still broke the stupid thing. So, yep, now gimbal's doing kind of what it should be doing. All right. Upon further examination, this guy looks like it's doing pretty good. It's a good thing because none of these parts are really able to be obtained. And I'm looking at the top of the housing, and I really don't understand what would have been causing the problem. I was thinking maybe that some of these connectors in the front or something were hitting, but none of them are broken. So if it was hitting, then hopefully it's not now, right? So next, I'm going to reassemble it, and let's go ahead and take it for a test flight. You never know, sometimes taking things apart actually fixes them. Kind of crazy. Wasn't expecting that. It was only a 2.5 foot drop, so I knew that if it broke, that this thing was really boogered. But no, I think it'll be all right. Let's go ahead and put it back together. All right, everyone, I got it back together. Everything is nice and neat. Now, I love taking things like this apart because the design requirements, they want you to keep it below 249 grams. That's the FAA allotment for non-registered drones. They packed as much as they could into this guy, given the time that it was developed, in less than 249 grams. That means minimum fasteners, the lightest materials possible, and wow, this thing is an absolute beast. I dig it. Now, in hindsight, I see some things like the heat spreader that might be able to be improved, especially now that I'm not held to the FAA requirements. However, the gimbal's back in. You can see right here how it naturally moves around and it will zero itself out. So let's go ahead, put a battery in this bad boy, and let's see what it does when I turn it on. And let's see if it zeroes that gimbal. Okay, so it's going to do its thing. Gimbal moves, gimbal moves, gimbal moves, and zero. Look at that. It's beautiful. See that? See how the gimbal stays square regardless of my movement. How cool is that? All right. There you can see a little bit better. It's moving really well. Nice. Let's go ahead and let's go take it for a flight. We'll see how it does. Hey guys, it's back together. It's booted up. I've got my smart controller here. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna step back. We're gonna go ahead and have it hover right about here so you guys can see the gimbal camera. I'll move it around so y'all can check it out. And then I'm gonna send it off. All right, let's do it. Functions are right. My gimbal moves freely. Check that out. Awesome. And
That's cool.
there it goes.